public understanding of business and the economy. By Lumosity.com, a brain training program designed by neuroscientists that has been used by 50 million people worldwide. More at Lumosity.com. By the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, working to build a culture of health for all Americans. On the web at rwjf.org. And by Joyce V. Hale, in the interest of engaging an informed and civil electorate. This is NPR.
WLS proud to offer a different kind of radio experience. An experience that is unique and rewarding. To support our work, we rely on many contributors, including the major donors of WLS Circle of Friends. To join the Circle of Friends, visit WLN.com.
I'm Jeremy Hobson. Ziggy Marley is his father's son, and he's focusing his music on the emotional rather than the political.
Still need that social political movement, but I think we need more than ever know what is happening inside of us more than what is happening outside of us.
That's next time on Here and Now from NPR and WBUR Boston.
Today's edition of Here and Now at 2 o'clock right here, 91.3 WLRN.
South Florida Theater Week on 91.3 WLRN offers same-day half-price tickets at leading regional theaters and cultural organizations, including New Theater, Blue Trade Theater, Island City Stage, India Stage, and Naked Stage. Information and a complete list of shows online at culturalconnection.org. Culturalconnection.org. Your ticket to the cultural arts.
Some showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain moving into South Florida here in Miami, 76 degrees. This is the Diane Moon Show on South Florida's NPR news station, 1.3 WLRN.
Welcome back as we talk about the problems that all cities face. Defects in automobiles manufactured by General Motors. Remember, we were written about the 2007 Cobalt. And what to do is one from Eve sort of rounds it out. She says, my 24-year-old son drives a 2007 Cobalt. He's registered at the new ignition installed, but in the meantime, he's driving an unsafe car. It's frightening. Why does all this take so long, David?
She or her son are concerned that should call GM, the dealership right now. GM has been providing tens of thousands of rental cars. And most importantly, to everybody driving these new cars, is to take all the keys off their keychain. Take the keychain off and only use the ignition key. Because the government and GM have said that they believe it's safe to drive the cars as long as only the ignition key is in use. And again, if there's any concerns, go to a dealership, get the repairs, or get a rental car for free until it's fixed.
And here's another email from Bill. Bill in Flint, Virginia. He says, why does the attorney on your panel want to take depositions? GM has admitted liability. The only issue in the injury cases is the amount of compensation. Joan Piper.
Well, you want to take the depositions because they're under oath. And if General Motors is giving them a hard time in any of the settlement, you want to be sure you have that under oath. But I think that it's not the only issue because there will be issues of the amount of compensation, the amount of injury, and what caused that particular injury. So there are other issues involved in that. But the other thing is that under the General Motors bailout, if your injury occurred before July 10th, 2009, then General Motors is absolved, the new General Motors is absolved of any liability. And they have hired a gentleman named Ken Feinberg, who has helped in a number of other type liability cases to try and figure out how to give compensation to those people in the Cobalt. My concern is that there are other recalls that were delayed that did not occur. They're not as well known as the Cobalt one. So these individuals also, I believe, should be compensated.